All right, everybody, let's make something great today. How do you say? We all ready? Well, now we should be ready. There we go. We got our blue dragon we're going to work on. It's going to be quite a hoot. Okay. So just a heads up to everybody, we will be doing a short stream now, and I will be taking a short nap and then doing more. I'm kind of switching gears halfway through. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. Get this out of here. And let's go ahead and break out our skeletal bone. We're going to continue working on the belly of the beast here. Well, the belly of the beast and the wings. So we can go ahead and use our nice bigger brush here. And go ahead and thin down our paint a little bit here. Let's get this cord out of my way a little bit too. Okay. And we're just going to kind of arbitrarily decide where our next color comes in. Like we talked about last time when we were working on the sky, this is definitely a multi-coat process, as we are working with nice thin layers here. I'll bring this down there. Feeling right about, I think this line of scales, yeah. Nothing crazy. There's some paint here. Just trying to pay attention and not getting too much paint clogged up in between the scales. So as we use our wet palette here, that should help us keep nice thin paint. And we're going to keep a very nice and moisturized brush. And just keeping our details intact. Because we can add as many coats of paint as we need to, but we cannot re-add those details back in. We're going to keep his underbelly, that nice new blue that we painted on there. So we're just going to carefully, if we overpaint a little bit, we can fix it with the crystal blue. Or sorry, the deep blue. But there we go, just like that. There we go. As you can see, just getting his chest filled in. He's a big dragon. And we're going to go over here to the other side and just kind of fill it out to the same level. Get this up out of the way here. When you're using a wet palette and a nice big brush like this, you do have to be careful that you don't accidentally end up transferring too much moisture into your paint. Otherwise, you can overthin it. Now here, we're painting a really big area, so I'm not super concerned about it. But if we were painting something smaller, I'd want to try and keep drying my brush up a little bit. There we go. It's about even, right? Not close enough. Now, as you can see, so let's get in here a little bit. You can see how we got that nice thin paint on this side versus the less thin paint on this side. Now this side's just going to take a little bit longer to dry. So not the end of the world, but just something to keep in mind when you're moving on to these. Now this part down here, this little plating section, we are also going to do in our yellow color. So we're going to bring that all the way down through to here. And I believe we're going to do these scales, these sections as well, these subdermal extrusions. I don't know. But yeah, just going to carefully go ahead and start. Just with nice quick little brush strokes. Kind of like you're sketching, but just with paint instead of like a lead pencil. If you've ever doodled in a notebook, it's kind of what we're doing here. We'll flesh out the color and stuff on our next pass. Maybe tempted just to take your brush and go like that all the way down it, which is one way to get a nice base coat. But for something like this, I think we're going to use the naturally given shape of the model to our advantage. Just kind of get a nice good base coat down here. And keeping in mind also where in the model this is. This isn't an area that you're really going to see. But as I get down in here, you can see what I'm talking about with the paint that's a little bit too thin. Let's see here. Got a lot of glare on this off-white color, I'm going to be honest, but that's okay. Oops. I would like for the tip of the tail to be blue, so we'll leave that just like so. Oh, an electrode? Guys, there's an electrode in the Pokemon chat. We're going to try and catch that for sure. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Oops. Well. I accidentally killed my chat trying to look at my users in chat. Hey, I got a couple of users in chat. All right, awesome. Now, if you don't have your volume turned on, don't forget that if your volume is all the way off, you don't actually count as a viewer. So if you're just lurking or you're just hanging out, put me on the tiniest little bit of volume. It will help so much. You have no idea. All right, we're gonna turn this light back on. Yep, there we go. All right, now we're gonna go through and kind of do this other side here. Just like so. And the reason that I'm doing it like this is not just to OCD do one side and it's entirely and then the other, is that the lighter portion will be where my paintbrush overlaps a little bit. It'll be a little bit lighter on the tips here. See, I want to do this one. Yeah, we'll do this whole area. Yeah, we'll continue on here. We'll do this in our yellow. We'll do this one in our yellow too. So Miniac did a phenomenal video today about the about why he doesn't like to paint natural animals. I think in his example video model he was doing lizard folk. And he brought up a really good point. Even when you have things like uniform scales or skin, if you will, or whatever you want to call, like think snake skin, snake flesh, there is naturally just some amazing variation in patterns you get. But when you're looking at a model of a snake, it's just flat. If you were to take all the color, if you were going to take all the color out of a model or a snake, you wouldn't actually see all that variation or those other colors. So it's up to us when we're creating off of these to kind of make the decisions. Things aren't going to be 100% uniform or symmetrical or any of that. Generally, there is symmetry in nature, but there are also times when it's just slightly off. Fighting again, as usual, when using a wet palette and a big brush, just fighting a little bit with the consistency of my paint. Go ahead and do this one. Go ahead and do those as well, so you can see them from the other side. Not that big one though. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so we're looking at about 2 coats to get the skeletal bone to appropriately go over top of this our undercoat of, oh, I forget what it is. I think it might have been uh, no, this isn't the Fang by Army Painter by Games Workshop. I forget what blue we primed this in, but 2 to get a good solid base coat. So as we continue on, just trying to keep our patience with ourselves, because when painting something this big, if you're not using an airbrush, which I'm trying not to use too much on this, uh, patience is a virtue. Just taking your time, using this as a really good opportunity to practice your brush control, doing little sections at a time, paying attention to how your paint's coming off your brush. Maybe using different strokes. Getting big brushes into getting large brushes with little tips into small spaces. It's a really good thing to practice on large models like this. Alrighty, let's get a little bit more here. Let's do this here. We'll do this layer of scales as well. This right there, yeah. Alrighty. Okay. Almost there. Just do another layer down the other side. I've gotten a good base coat on this, so let's get this spot down here where we can just straight up see blue. Because a little bit of the blue poking through is actually perfectly fine. It's going to add some nice variation color and a nice undertone, but when it's just straight up blue, that's not what we want, if we can help it. And again, this is the bottom of the model, so we don't need to be 100% precise. It's very easy to forget that sometimes, especially when you're able to move the model in 3 dimensions as you paint it. Yeah, well, not in 3 dimensions. If you move it on 3 axes when you're painting it, that oftentimes you'll end up spending a little bit too much time on some details that may not necessarily even never be visible after it's in its final place or home, which I believe I may be doing down here. But I think we're okay. Okay. Because when he's on his base, yeah, he's going to be like this. You actually barely see any of that tail. That's alright, though. Alright, there's our belly. Let's go ahead and get a second coat up here on top. As always, thank you, Greg, for this amazing wet palette. I will thank you every episode of my stream. I appreciate it. Bring this down another layer. Like so. There we go. It's a little bit more natural. Kind of like the other side. Because when the body is curved outward like that, more would be on this side, not less. Okay. There, I like that a little better. Let's go ahead and while we're at it here, get a little bit more of a better coat on this. I want this horn to be very, very white here. Skin, don't care about so much. The horn, definitely don't want as much blue in this. Okay. You guys are getting a look into the more boring aspects of miniature painting, I guess, tonight, which is laying down really large base coats over large areas. Because the other thing that we're going to paint is this wing. We're going to continue on with the same theme. So we're going to do these two. We're going to do a little bit of work on this wing, and then we're going to actually switch over to doing some other models. Oh, Clefable? Oh, man. But we're going to switch over to doing the other models in a little bit. I'm going to take a short nap, and then we will do a super late night stream for my international folks who I've been missing. So if you can join, awesome. If you cannot, you cannot, and that's quite all right. All right, so as you can see, I was bored at work, so I was doing a little bit of painting on this, but we're just gonna lay down another coat here. Like so. And again, we're not thinning this paint. We're relying on the wet palette and the moisture in our big thick brush to thin our paint for us. And it's working out just fine. Our brush is a little bit dry, so I'm going over to the area where I accidentally overwatered the paint, and that's where I'll get paint from. Allow my brush to kind of retain some of that excess moisture. And ta-da! Go ahead and get a little bit more on there. Okay. Alrighty. And there's our wing. Oh, geez. Right? But, there's an inside, everybody, so we're going to do that. I tricked you. You thought we were done, but nah, we had to do the inside now. Although this, we're going to be doing a little bit differently. We're just going to do a base coat of this skeletal bone, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. We're trying to make sure this layer is a little bit thin. And yeah, we're overpainting a little bit, just right there on that ledge, but No one will ever notice. I think this is the inside of the wing. We're going to go ahead and actually put this on the model because I realized I might not be doing what I think I'm going to do if this doesn't line up the way I think it does, with this being almost entirely sheltered from the light source, which would assumedly be above. We shall see. If that is the case, we'll do something different. Okay. All right, grab this a little bit more. Keeping the nice sharp point on my brush for these more detailed areas, and then just kind of letting it do whatever it wants as we do these larger areas, kind of swishing it back and forth. I already know I'm going to have to touch up this blue if it's visible, or not as much if it's not, so no real point in being super careful about it. As we go, we're just going to continue on. You guys can't even really see inside this wing, can you? I don't think there's really going to be a good angle for me. Maybe if like this, yeah. It's a little bit better, I guess. Actually, there we go. Alrighty. Oh, update. The guy that I bought this 3D model off of, I will never be buying from again. The 3D printer, the Etsy seller, because I bought a Red Dragon from him, and he changes the pose of the model and even the model itself based off of the size that you buy. Just so frustrated. So yeah, screw that guy. Because I ended up buying, I spent $80 in the wrong model for a commission. And yeah, partially on me, but also screw that. Partially on somebody else. Like, because who does that? Who has sizing options with pictures of multiple models? It's fine. Not upset. Gonna go ahead, clean off that brush, and go ahead and break out our oil palette. Use some yellow ochre, I think. Hey guys, is this the paintbrush we used? I think, yeah, this is the paintbrush we used last time we used oils. Oh yeah, I can feel the mineral spirits in there. Okay. And let's get a little cup. I've been loving breaking out the oil paints more and more. And this yellow ochre is just going to be a good underneath the wing color. Let's make sure that that is actually the case. So he is going to be, what the hell is that? Oh, that's the oil case that I just pulled out. All right, so he's going to be like so. Bring that out a little bit. Oh, it means we need to adjust the focus. Started manually focusing this camera because reasons. So we'll turn it on autofocus while we're streaming here. Hey, Shadow, how are you doing? Hello. We're about 40 minutes in here because this guy's going to sit like this. And then this wing will be down here. So yeah, that's going to pretty much be in shadow. Yeah, okay. So that's going to be in shadow. So we're going to paint the bottom of that. Oh, I see you're playing Jurassic World. Getting annoyed at your Troodons. So when you're using oil paints, again, don't be afraid of them. You can break them out. It doesn't have to be a big production. Just boom, a little bit of mineral spirits right there in a cup. Then boom, here is your oil paint. Right here on top, you're going to have a little bit of excess oil usually. Yeah, okay, so that's the binding agent in the oil paint. So I'm going to go ahead and do a tiny little bit of it over here. I don't actually want that, I just want the paint itself. Right here. That's way more than enough to do what I want to do here. Actually, we're going to do the entire wings in this maybe, if we like what it looks like. Go, mix up a little bit. Troodons? Actually, wait, Troodons. I think I know this one. I think I know this dinosaur. Ooh, I don't know it. I thought I did. Hey, and look at that. Now I have 3 viewers because I messaged my friends. And now I get to hang out with my friends while I paint models. Hey, Shadow. I think Pi is probably the other person that joined me. Thank you so very much. It's a little bit too thick, so we're actually going to grab a little bit of that oil. Still a little thick for my liking, so I'm going to go ahead and set that down. Small carnivore. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I'm going to grab... okay. We're going to grab some refined linseed oil. I don't prefer to throw in linseed oil just because it messes with my drying time. But seeing as I'm probably not going to get to this again until tomorrow anyway, I'm fine. So just a tiny little bit. Start with like 3 drops. Because when you're buying products like this, and if you are somebody that's doing miniature painting, you can't really see this. If you're buying products like this, screw it, I might just get rid of that camera. You're going to be buying artists size products for artist sized projects, not miniatures. So keep that in mind when you're using things like this. Is that what we have bought is meant to be used with oil palettes that are spread out over an entire canvas. Okay. It's a little light, but I think that's okay. All right, so I'm going to rinse off my brush just a little bit here. Just in the mineral spirits here. I'm a small carnivore. No, I'm not. I'm a small omnivore. Hey guys, a sea dot appeared. I'm going to try and catch that. Pie Master, if you are sticking around for a little bit before my midstream break, for those of you that just joined, this is going to be a very late night stream. We will be painting up your dwarves, a little bit of your dwarves. So if you're wanting to stick around for a little bit, you'll get to see that after we apply this oil paint. We'll probably switch over to that. All right, so this is looking pretty okay. Let's go ahead and give it a whirl here. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. So it's very yellow, but don't worry, we'll fix that in a bit. So what we're essentially doing now is we are laying down what is going to be the highlights in the shadowed areas of the interior of our wings. So this is going to be the lightest of the dark area. If this is making sense, then you are one step ahead of me. And because we needed a really saturated yellow and tan in order to show up on the bottom here. And this is going to be a very saturated yellow. Applying this pretty thinly, just enough to get an even coat without clumping up. I love painting miniatures with oil paints. They always go on the way you want acrylic paints to go on, which is just so smoothly. Just so amazingly smooth. Okay. Oops. All right. Having some issues with this paintbrush, so we're going to grab the good old pliers here. We're just going to actually give that a little squeeze. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, do I have an inclination to do something similar with the upper area? And I think I might, but I might not. We'll see. Looking at my oil paint set, I do have a lemon yellow and a yellow medium and a deep yellow. If this is my deep yellow, this is my yellow ochre. I don't think I'm going to risk it. I don't think I'm going to use the oil paints on the top of the wings. I know what I want them to look, and oil paints might be able to help me get there faster, but I don't have the right colors, I don't believe. Or at least I might have them, but I'm not skilled enough at mixing them in order to do it correctly. So I'm going to clean off my brush here. And this is going to take a hot minute. So Shadow, you're playing some Jurassic World today. That's exciting. You really love dinosaurs, and I love that about you. Playing on the third island. See, I don't even know what that means. Third island. I'm I kind of really like that yellow. I'm gonna think over it over the next couple days, or maybe tonight into tomorrow. I'll see how it dries. I'll see what it looks like when I actually sponge it off and stuff. This might be our bright little pop of color that we use on the actual model on the top side. It's such a big decision. It was such a big model. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna make the decision right now, so I will go ahead and deal with my indecisiveness later. And we'll go ahead and put the oil paint stuff away. I'll leave this. I'll just throw this over here. Oh, Shadow. You actually remind me. I'm gonna go check on the 3D print thing I'm printing for you. Okay. So, looks like we're successfully printing 1/2 the wing. It's gonna be a little bit smaller than the one that we were going to buy for you, but it's still gonna be pretty big. Actually thinking about it, it's gonna be pretty big. I'm gonna be very impressed if I'm able to 3D print this. Keep your fingers crossed for me. This is gonna be the biggest thing I've ever successfully 3D printed, and the fact that we already did one part successfully makes me really happy because the wings are in 2 parts, both of them, and then the head, and then the neck, and the jaw part. Chest is in 2 pieces. Tail is in 3 pieces. Legs are in 2 each. And then the base is in 2. So actually it's 18. I was right. The first time I counted it, it's 18 exactly. The wings are the part that I'm the most nervous about, and then the chest cavity, given that it's but you picked the white dragon, so it's not going to be as like beefy as most other dragons. You picked the white dragon, but you wanted it painted as a red dragon, is what you actually did. So, it's going pretty well. So what are we going to paint next? Well, I have a commission for a Mornquest board game that I'm working on. I might as well go ahead and get going on this guy. Mornquest is a board game based off of a storybook, and I don't know much about it, but I liked the art, and somebody's paying me to paint all of the miniatures from it for a loved one for their birthday. So if you guys are interested, I'll show off these models. I was going to make a YouTube video of painting all of these, but I need a different camera if I'm going to record doing things like this, and not big diorama pieces. So like really unique models, absolutely in love with these. These are really cool. Let's see here. Oh, this one's really cool. And they were all just solid green when I got them. Really creepy. And some of these Headless Horsemen, and just really unique. Like this is a mermaid person, but their trident is made off of taping utensils to a broom. Yeah. And all of the main heroes in the board game actually kind of remind me of Yordles from League of Legends a little bit in like the proportions and stuff. So they're pretty adorable. This guy Oh, this guy's fun. So, yeah, it's a big commission for somebody getting all of these painted. And I already got the paint scheme down for this guy, so we're just going to kind of go into autopilot mode and paint him up. Because there's 4 of every one of the monsters here. I've already got 2 of them done here. Trying to add just a little bit of variety in them, but still like the same overall scheme. So go ahead and bring that in. And there we go. Yep, that's a little close. There we go. So let's go ahead and we'll crack on here. Let's get some. We'll put a little bit more effort into the highlights and stuff on these guys tonight than we did on some of the other guys. Just because I'm doing it with people here. I'm just actually reading your message, not Shadow. There's 5 islands plus 1 on one of the other islands. It's the 5 deaths. 5 deaths. I don't understand that message. I'm gonna be honest. Where's my natural, where I'm going to be putting my hand position? Right about here? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and flip this over so I don't accidentally get. Putting down some foam here in front of me, one of the best decisions I've ever made. All right. Oh, IRL, they're called the 5 deaths. Okay, okay. Okay. I thought it was like a roguelike game where you had to die and like each death you resurrected, and I don't know. I basically just made a whole new video game in my head based off of the very little information you gave me. Or like the information you gave me and me taking it out of context. I basically made a whole new video game. Oh, a Minior? I don't even know what that is. Actually, I think I know. Wait. Delete that. So wait, no, that was me messaging you earlier. That's fine. It's fine. Do you guys know that as a whole, my channel has 677 views on Twitch? Do you have any idea how exciting that is? That's incredibly exciting. So this is a really deep blue, but we're gonna lighten it up here in a second. Honestly, this is a scenario where I wish I kind of just had gray primer on hand, but I didn't. So I went with the standard zenithal highlight, and yeah, I regret it. So zenithal is not always the way to go. I mean, looking at these models and stuff, and the world, it's a very bright and colorful world. So I'm doing the villains a little bit darker than the heroes, but all in all, this is not a grim dark model that we're painting. We don't want it to be grimy or grunge-esque. We're really looking for more whimsy. Maybe a little bit of horror in some of these. At least that was the direction that I was given by the person that I'm painting them for. So I went ahead and I did a couple of test models, and then they were like, yeah, and I was like, awesome, super bright. Nice. Yeah. Minior. I'm gonna look up what this Pokemon is. I think I know what it is. I was wrong. What the fuck? What the fuck is this Pokemon? Guys. Son of a bitch. It's in Sun and Moon. Is Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon the new ones? No, it's 7. Sun and Moon I missed entirely. Okay, that explains it. Yeah. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, I just didn't. It's a little dark. But yeah, so like I was saying, with a solid black undercoat and then just the zenithal highlight, it's going to be hard to get those colors nice and bright. So we're going to have to work a little bit on that. But if you stick it with me together, I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out together, guys. All right, and then doing the shirts. This nice little pink here that we will tone down with the shader. And then highlight back up. But again, so like this area right here that's entirely black that we're hitting with the pink, we're not getting great coverage on. That's okay. We will go back and we'll get a follow-up coat on there. Just like we need to get a follow-up coat on the skin tone on this guy. But right now is my busy season. This is the season in which I get a lot of commissions for people getting Dungeons and Dragons and other things for each other, like this. As well as I tend to make Christmas gifts for people in my own life, as well as, you know, not anyone like that I care about, just my parents. Kidding. That I make things for. And so it gets a little bit busy this time of year. So you guys are going to see a lot of a variety of projects going. And I might have to like call streams early or something if I'm really getting behind on something. But for now, I have a lot of models to paint. So streams are actually a perfect time to get this done. So right now I think, see, I think Mr. Greg is going to hit me up for the Middle-earth Journeys expansion whenever that ships, which should be shipping later this month. And then I have Chris M from Etsy. His Dungeons and Dragons models are going to be arriving in the mail in a couple of days. And I have this to do, as well as 2 projects planned, one of which is going to be a YouTube video for sure, and the other one might be, but that'll be later in the year. But the model itself won't be. So I think I'm actually pretty booked up for the first time since launching Good Enough Painting. I'm pretty much at capacity in terms of commissions. But giving the heads up now too as well, my streaming schedule is 100% going to change next year. My shift is going to be changing at the office. So I was lucky enough that I am number 1 in my rank bid position at my job because I work hard, and I've been there a while, so I have a really good. Well, I have the first pick on the new shifts, luckily, and I picked a shift that's much different than the one I have now, just in preparation for returning to work and all that. Let's see here, getting a nice brighter white down here in the hair. And thank you, Shadow. Thank you very much. If you're talking about the scheduling for Good Enough Painting, I'm absolutely over the moon, for real. That's just amazing that people are wanting to have me do these things, as well as I have the ability to do them for myself, and it's just a lot of fun. Now, as for the work schedule, I was starting to get frustrated with my work schedule because getting off work at 9:30 p.m. sucks, and I didn't realize how much it would suck until I did it for 18 months. Because it didn't, like, second shift, it didn't really bother me before, but then when it came to like doing things like with my wife or after work or something, it's just kind of not possible. And then when you're only off certain days of the week, even if you're working 4 10s like I was, and you get 3 days off, those are the only days you can do anything. And it really, really struggled. I had struggled to get a good semblance of a work-life balance, working those 4 10s that late into the night. But I signed up for it at the end of the day, so I wasn't upset about it. This is going to require some work here, covering up a good amount of this and eliminating some of this area in here. And then tidying up that skin tone. Yeah. You guys might actually get to see another technique here in a little bit here. I'm going to go and move on to the next sculpt, actually. I'm going to try that here in a sec. Because, God, yeah, these guys are tough to paint when it's that dark. Game makes it so hot it's bringing up the room temperature. Oh my god. It's a pretty intense game there, Shadow. We're going to break out some of the flump pink here. Just got a little bit more pigment in it for the skin here, because I'm struggling to cover up the black than the Army Painter flesh tone. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, the Flump Pink is just a little bit less, a little bit more of a stronger tone. It's by the it's the intro pack, Dungeons and Dragons. I forget which one Flump Pink came in, but whichever one it was. All of the WizKids, Vallejo, whatever there were crossovers. Let me make sure I'm saying my brands right. Army Painters. This is one of the Army Painters ones. It came in one of the starter sets. In the starter sets, if you're new to miniature painting, the paints in there are usually going to be smaller bottles, but higher pigment to make it easier to get nice solid coats on your models. So I like to keep these kinds of paints around sometimes for exact situations like this. I'm going to get the mouth here a little bit too, and we're going to get the inside of the hand. We're just going to do the entirety of the inside of the mouth, because then we'll paint the mouth. That'll be a better base coat for like the reds and pinks on the inside of the mouth than the black is. And there we go. That's a lot better. That's a much better base coat for our skin. See? I can't believe your PC is raising the temperature in your room because of the game that it's running. That's insane. And there we are. Getting there, getting there, getting there. So I'm actually going to show you what I'm going to do for the next guys. So let me just go ahead and unhook one of these guys. See, it does. Yeah, you're a good example. Let's go ahead and grab, yeah. Let's grab another guy that has a base. Just because I know I want these colors to be a little bit brighter. So you can see all the dark and blackness in there. Given that I'm going to be making such bright colors, I'm going to be using the contrast paints a little bit less. So what I'm going to be doing is I need more white and less variation. So I'm going to grab my Artist Acrylic White. The thick body acrylic titanium white master's touch. Ta-da, that. We're going to grab a little bit of that. We're going to put it here just on a flat surface. Oh no. I put a thing right at the gate to repair it. They just don't repair fast enough. Oh no. For a second, I thought when I saw Utah Raptors, I thought Utah Raptors, and I was like, are these Raptors only from Utah? It's a little terrifying. So, take our wet palette here, lid, and we say screw it. We're just going to add a little bit of white here onto it. I love coloring palette lids. Velociraptors. I figured, yeah. Although Utah Raptors, there's an idea for you. We'll grab a dry brush that isn't shit. Oh man, guys, we're running out of dry brushes. We're gonna have to buy more again here soon. We'll just use a makeup brush. So, I'm gonna take just a dry brush. We're gonna bring this back a little bit. Shabow. There we go. Okay. Grab a little bit of paint. Kind of just get it all over there on the thing. Like so. And then just gonna kind of too much. Make sure there isn't too much paint on there. And we're just gonna kind of increase the amount of white in the model on a whole. Now, no, this is not a pure zenithal, so if you're a miniature painter, this is not going to help you with all of your projects. But when you've done your base coat a little bit too light, too dark, and you need to brighten it up a little bit, this is definitely a way to do it. What's cool is as we do this, even if we do decide to use translucent paints, no, we won't get a amazing, easily done object source lighting. Lighting from above, but you will get a lot of variation in color. And now our model looks a lot easier to paint in a bright color scheme because we have a lot more. You just kind of bring the whole thing up using that white, just a pure white. Even more so than using like acrylic or acrylic ink or something from above. $8.03. Oh, I missed the gold bin. Oh well. We're gonna be okay. So, and now that I've done that on one, we'll just go ahead and we'll break out the other three here. One of these guys' hands might fall off. Don't worry about that though, because I had to glue one guy's hand back on. There we go. This should make the painting of these little mole guys a little bit easier. Yes, there are so many nooks and crannies on those guys, and I'm very surprised that one of their arms didn't fall off because I super glued it on and then I barely touched it and it broke off immediately. So I'm surprised none of that actually got any of that off. Didn't knock it off. But hey, take your small blessings, right? So I'm just cleaning off that little dry brush a little bit. And this is a much nicer makeup brush. So one, it's a little bit more important to me to make sure it stays a little bit clean. And two, it's a little bit easier to clean. All right. So these guys can get put away. And these guys are really small. So like doing a bunch of small coats on them kind of sucks. Doing a bunch of thin coats on them kind of sucks a little bit, to be frank. But, you know, we persevere, we do our thing, we do everything that we can, and we make the best that we can. Alright, what are we doing? We're doing these guys. Let's do the next guy. We're doing these two. Get Theo back on there. And get you back on there. Go ahead and we'll put away the thick body acrylic. Hey, Cyber, how you doing, man? Good friggin' morning to you. It is almost 8 a.m. for you. The painting is going amazingly. And it is still, it's night for me, I think. I'd say it's night. It's about 1:40 a.m. So late into the evening. I'm having some issues with the glare on my, because these are covered in white. This has a bunch of white on top, so you guys are gonna get some glare. But yeah, no, having a great night so far. You need your white done. We're painting up a Mornquest commission. It is a board game based off of a series of books, of fantasy books that I believe are for children, but I am not sure on that entirely. But so I have this to do, I have some other commissions to do, so we're just kind of working on stuff. And we worked a little bit on one of the dragons. We got some oil paint drying on his wing, and we went ahead and laid down a base coat. I'll pull that out here in a second, because I want to go check out that base coat and maybe add the wash to it. So yeah, we are plowing through a lot of projects today. And I'm showing off here why it's not always best to do a black undercoat with a white zenithal highlight. I probably would have been much better served if I just primed these guys white. But I just was in autopilot mode. And yeah. Didn't really have a better alternative on hand when I did this, because we are just ending up doing a lot more coats, and these are miniatures for a board game, so these aren't wonderful, extremely detailed works of art that we're trying to create. These are guys that if I don't misunderstand the rules of the game, you might not even see all game. Might never even leave the box. And I did them as a package deal. I said, yeah, $50, I'll do the whole box of games. I'll do all your miniatures in that box. That was a mistake. Have I played D&D before? Yes, I have played D&D many times. Been obsessed with D&D since I was like 12 years old. These are all the models for a board game. So some board games come with miniatures, and these are the miniatures that come with this board game. Some really creepy stuff, like this little baby. And some really fun and whimsical things, like this shrubbery that's a dinosaur man dragon thing. And then your hero characters, like these guys. They look like Yordles from League of Legends. I keep saying it because it's so true. I love D&D. Why do you think I paint all these Dungeons and Dragons figures? It's so that maybe someone will play D&D with me. We're going to use our Flumph Pink, get another layer down here on the skin. Again, just using that higher pigment value paint, just to kind of get a more established color going. Nothing crazy. Don't need to be really precise on this. Just like in nature, and faces in general. We don't have perfectly smooth skin. I do have some pink on my brush that I need to get rid of from that paint next to it on the palette. But besides that, we don't have to be too careful. Okay. One moment, please. Gotta go check the 3D printer. All right. The 3D print is still going pretty well. We got another 14 minutes on that. Alrighty. Got both your guys' blue pants done. You would play D&D with me? Aw, if only our schedules were even remotely close to working out. My current D&D group that I am running for my wife and one of our friends is currently on pause because we don't really have a good option on what to do with the dog during it, and he can't really just be unattended for several hours yet. I've played a lot more D&D in the last year and a half than I ever have before. But it surprises people a lot when I tell them that I'm painting every entry in the Monster Manual as part of a YouTube and Twitch series. And I also don't play Dungeons and Dragons with miniatures. I just do entirely Theater of the Mind. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, no. Just all in your head. See, this guy's done. Ed. Okay. So, let's go ahead and we'll put these guys on pause. Just like I said, tonight's a really long stream, so we're just going to keep switching projects to make sure we stay on our toes. Let's check out our oil paint on this wing. Still pretty wet, so we'll leave that for now. All right, let's check out the belly of the dragon. Looking good there. I think we're ready to give that a wash. What did we use last time? Ooh, what did we use for this? Up here. Does anyone remember? No. I'm gonna have to check that out. All right, everybody. We're gonna have to check out last stream and see if we can find what I used paint-wise. I should have wrote this down. I never write this down because normally it doesn't matter. Oh, good. The video is only an hour and 42 minutes. All right, so scroll it under here. Okay, what did I use? Okay. Oh, a Pan Urchins in Twitch is in the Pokemon chat, guys. We're gonna try and Poke catch it. Let's see if we get it. I've seen myself using the paint now. I just need to go and see what it is. There is that orange that was just straight orange that I wasn't happy with. So you guys are going to hear me on the other chat while I listen to us. Alright, yeah, we're good. Agrostoons. Straight up Agrostoons. And that's this paint right here, Agrostoons. We're also gonna lose the hoodie. It's time. Oh, let's do it. Oh yeah. It's moving to Switzerland, you know anywhere? Oh. Is it because Switzerland just is anti D&D? I mean, with all the virtual stuff now, I mean, I feel like it's even easier to play with people that you don't see every day. Hey, I caught a pin urchin. That's exciting. Alrighty. Alright. I'm gonna grab a big old brush. Yes, it's time to get serious. We're gonna be washing things. This is way too big of a brush, but we're just gonna use it anyway. Yo, whoa, you only wash once. Yo, whoa, I like that. So we're also going to grab a little bit of our contrast medium, just a technical additive here, just to kind of make using the paint a little bit easier. We're going to adjust this camera so that, there we go. Again, screw you white balance. I didn't want to be in white balance anyway. Cannot wait till I get some new cameras. It's hard for you to make new friends. Aww. I would totally play D&D with you. If there was any way that it wouldn't have to be at 4 in the morning for you. Because my wife works a 9 to 5, as does our other friend. Although I'm switching to something close to that. So, it would be tough. Although I know for a fact that there are places and websites and stuff you can go to just find groups. And a couple of my friends have had a lot of success on those. Just going and signing up for rando groups. Just checking this out here. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Yeah, our time difference is pretty bad, but I know that there's also a lot of people around that would be okay with it. See, if I was in Pacific time, it wouldn't actually be that bad because we'd be 9 hours apart, which is actually a little bit better than 6 if you think about it. Because the closer you are to that 12 mark, the easier it is. What is in my brush here? Is it my brush? No, okay, we're good. Trying to apply this a little bit lighter than we did up above. Not because of lighting, which we talk about a lot, but because we want the colors down here to be just a little bit less bold. We want the eye to be brought up towards the face of our model rather than down its torso like this. There we go. Go ahead and grab this area down here as well. go. As you can see, it's just with a simple little wash here, everything starts to come together just a little bit. Moving both ways with our brush. One to add the saturation, and then the other one to add the shadows back in. I love doing scales and plates and chitness sections of armor. It makes just this technique so great. Get nice solid colors, and then you go back and you can get your shadows real easily. And just like that, it starts to all come together into a beautiful little bone-like area here, like so. And there we go. There we go. This again, just the foundations for our colors here. We're still going to do a little bit more to this, but this is a really, really good start. And you can kind of, a lot of what we do here too, and a lot of when you're painting, you want to make sure you have these nice, good milestones, especially when you're working on a big project like a big model or, you know, a huge army that you're batch painting. Have these good steps kind of built into your process so you have these good milestones that you can look back and start to enjoy as things come together. It's also why I really enjoy painting things like this in sections rather than going through and doing all of the bone area and all of the skin and all of the blue throughout the whole model. It may be more efficient to do it the other way, but this way I get to see each section start to come together just a little bit. Just like this. And that makes me happy. Okay. All right, cool. So there we are. Starting to get that going. And again, this is the bottom of the model. So if we were going to have the model, tiny little crab, on his base like this, that's what we'd be looking at. So you don't really see it too much, or, you know, at all. Maybe if I spin it like this, you can start to see a couple parts of it, maybe. Close enough. But yeah, all right. Alrighty. It's coming together. All little blue eyes. All right. So we are almost 2 hours in. I'm going to take a tenner. I'm going to go pop that thing off of the 3D printer, get it slightly washed. I'll cure it later because that's something I need to pay attention to, and then maybe grab a snack. But if you stick around, you're awesome. I absolutely love you. If you don't stick around for my quick 10 or 15 minute break here, don't worry about it. I hope that everything that you do is absolutely amazing. If you're on YouTube, feel free just to zip ahead into the future, and I will pop up a big screen so you guys will be able to see it. But I will leave you with this for now. And when we come back, what we're going to do is we're actually going to start to add the highlights and the details onto this area here, as well as onto this area here. So kind of taking it to the next step, because right now we've added a lot of really good shadows. We're going to start to add that color back in. We've heavily saturated all of this to the point where you can barely see what's what. We're going to start to bring in just a little bit of that pop back in. So stick around if you want to see that, or fast forward. Gotta find the place where I hit the starting soon button. There it is. All right. And this is about accurate. 12 minutes. I'll be back. So I'll see you in a little bit. All right. Let's make something great. We are back. Sorry, I was doing a little bit of reading. Edgedancer, absolutely amazing book. While I was on break here. We are going to be doing some dry brushing. I could not find my new dry brushes. I could have sworn I bought more. Oh, because I wasn't looking at my brush box. There we go. Alright. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we're needing a relatively small one. We're going to grab this one. Just to kind of get into those nooks and crannies a little bit. Let's go ahead and grab our brush here. We're just going to see if we can soak up a little bit of this excess paint while it's dry. That's fine. If not, that's okay. Alright, that's fine. Thank you, Shadow. It is good to be back. I'll have you know, I did go back and I have some chicken nuggets now. The carrots and hummus and celery and hummus were just a little bit too cold to eat as the weather gets cold, so I'm back on chicken nuggies. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab a little bit of our base color, just a little tiny bit. We're going to get it kind of worked into the brush here a little bit. And I'm going to be working it up and down. Not a fan. Alright, we're going to do it a little different. Let's go ahead and use the Tyrant Skull dry brush instead. Just because I want a little bit more, just a little bit more. So we're going to use a paint that has just a little bit more in it. A little bit more kick to it. So we're going to need to do a little bit less, a few less sweeps than we normally do. We're going to bring it all the way down, like so. There we go. Just like that. That kind of brings out all of our details. You can see the difference. There's one side and there's the after. We'll go ahead and we'll just do the before and after all the way down here. We're actually going to go through. We're going to add a second coat of the Agros Dunes into this chest section. We're going to leave that a little bit later. This chest section I want darker. So just like so. Second coat. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay. There we go. Okay. Get that armpit there too. Alright. Alright. And we're going to kind of give this dry brush just a little bit of a clean. Just on the dampness of our paper towel here, because we want to be able to use it in about 20 minutes. Okay. But I'm going to leave a nice before on one side and after on the other side, so we can show people the progress we've made. But if we zoom in here, that's what we're looking at for that section. And we'll go ahead and we're going to add in a little bit more. And the way we're going to do that, takes a nice little fine detail brush, we're actually going to go ahead and break out a nicer brush here. These are kind of, everything we've used so far have been kind of our workhorse brushes, if you will. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to grab a nicer brush here. Let's go ahead and grab the, sure, the Kolinsky Sable brush. Got a very nice point on it. Again, thank you, Greg. We take a little bit of our normal white paint, get it over here with the off-white of the skeletal bone. We're going to mix up a little bit of a color. A little bit more white. There we go. All right. All right, and what we're going to do here is we're just going to kind of add a little bit more in. So in terms of our, just kind of, you'll see what I'm talking about here. And then on things like these, where we have these little, just adding a little bit of vertical noise as well around the cracks. Especially right down there in the center. It's a little strong, so we're going to kind of take a damp brush, kind of feather that out a little bit. Thin it down a little bit. Yeah, perfect. And just the tip of the brush here. This is the part where you want to kind of, the whole time when we're talking about practicing our brush control throughout the rest of the model, this is what we were practicing all of that brush control for. Hey! Oh, Nidicator. I'm going to try and catch that one. So yeah, like I said, as we have been practicing our brush control the whole rest of the model, this is why. It's for these kind of moments where we're adding in this like noise or edge highlighting, whatever you want to call it. Just the little tiny stuff. Am I gonna get the new Pokemon game? I want to, but also I want to see what's playable on it and how playable it is before I get it. I'm pretty upset about some of the decisions that they made regarding Sword and Shield DLC and having to buy the Nintendo Pass. I believe I talked to you about this before. But yeah, I want to make sure that it's, it's still Pokemon and not just like a DLC farm again. I don't think it will be, but you never know. Oh, and Zyra, if you're joining us, we just kind of took what was on this side and we're working on making it look more like this side. So That's where we're at. Oh man, if it's close to the originals, then heck yeah. I probably just won't be able to play with other people because I don't pay for the Nintendo Pass. But yes, I will probably end up buying it at some point. Maybe not brand new, but I will definitely be playing it at some point. My wife and I had a lot of fun playing the last one together when it came out. Making sure to breathe, making sure to unclench all of your body as you're doing this too. This part of doing the model can be a really relaxing experience or it can be stressful. It's entirely up to how you are treating it. There we go. We aren't painting things in the heavy metal style of something like a Warhammer 40k model that we're trying to paint in, again, that heavy metal style from the 1990s or 80s. So it doesn't need to be quite as precise as something like that. That's not what we're going for. So we're not doing extreme edge highlights with multiple levels of edge highlights. We're just kind of adding some noise, as it were. Focusing only on a couple of areas here in the chest hair. There we go. Okay. There's our scales. Yeah, I guess we can call that good enough. We can call that good enough. I mean, yeah, we could go through and we could do another wash, allow the tones to keep coming through, and then go through and add just another highlight. Or we can call that good enough. And I think we're gonna do that for this one. For now. I might do another round of highlights on it at another time. But that works for now, I think. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you for roll credits, yes. Yes. We can call that good enough. Alright, now we are left with a difficult decision, and that is what color to properly dry brush to highlight our Pteranodon turquoise. It is it is a color that I've never quite figured out, that we will hopefully be able to get some good work done in on here. So Pteranodon turquoise is a nice dark blue green, and we want to bring up the color. So we have some practice areas here on the inside of the legs that we're going to utilize here. I have a feeling that this is going to be way too bright, and looking at it now, 100%, I think that's going to be too bright. But let's go ahead and give it a real quick gander here on the bottom of the foot. There's no paint on that brush. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be too bright. Although, Although it actually, I think we're going to be good to use something like this. You don't shake dry paints, Ricky. You never have. There we go. Wow, that's way too much. All right, so we're going to definitely get some of that off our brush. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and try this out on the other foot. Go ahead and bring this out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to try that. Okay, like it. I like it. Alrighty. I like that. Okay. So, against the grain here. Like so. Gonna kind of build up that color a little bit. Like so. And that's going to be our scales. And we will be able to go in and we'll be able to add some highlights and stuff. But yeah, I like that. That'll be a good scale. Now this is a little bit different than the Ashanti bone that we are using, in that Helium Green is a very bright color. Now you may say, like, well, I mean, Off-White's still pretty bright comparatively, yes, but it isn't a bright color in terms of saturation. It's a bright color in terms of its hue, which is important to pay attention to. But there is a difference between its saturation and hue. So some things like white or yellow is going to be a more naturally bright color than something like purple. But when you're talking about hue, it's different than saturation. That's why you're able to have neon versions of colors. Like neon purple it's going to be brighter than ochre yellow. Okay. Sorry guys, I know this is a little bit off camera. I really want to make sure I get all of these little nooks and crannies correctly. Alrighty. Okay. Alright, and there's our leg after we finish that. So, yeah, pretty good color choice. Gonna get this area a little bit more. Yeah, just like that. We actually want that to be a little bit brighter, so we're actually wanting this to be a little bit brighter too. So the more heavily we dry brush these areas, the more they are going to stand out. There we go. Looking pretty sick there on that leg. Get the toes here. Okay. Digging it to the curiosity. Nah, not liking that. Yeah, so the Pterodon turquoise, well, remember, Hellion green, great. When you're going for that pop. Thank you, Thank you, Shadow. I really appreciate that. I'm really happy with the way that looks right now too. Now we just need to do that everywhere, everywhere else that you see paint. I don't believe that the deep blue base coat is necessary. Over areas that aren't the bottom, that aren't meant to be shadows. So we'll do one on like this chest area, but like the top of the dragon and the wings here, we won't be doing the deep blue base coat. And then the Pterodon turquoise, we'll just jump right into the Pterodon turquoise. Now let's go ahead. We're gonna do this other leg here, but we're gonna clean off this brush a little bit first. Ah, yes. Thank you, Cyber. We are getting there on those scales. See here? Those scales look good, and these scales look good. Pretty happy with them. We will get them. Get the rest of there's so many more scales to get to. But that's how we break projects like this up into a couple of different pieces. Otherwise, we are just screwed for time. Okay, so there you go. Grab some dry paint, get that all worked into the bristles here. Go ahead and just test it out. Make sure we aren't too heavily saturated. Good deal. And then we start flicking it back and forth against the grain where possible, or where needed, sorry. Again, reminding ourselves that if we make any mistakes on an area like this, no big deal. This is the bottom of the foot in the back, so the chances of it ever getting visibility to anyone except for us right now is very, very slim. So just remember that when you're doing things like this. Can't tell you the number of people that would be already reaching to redo a base coat or something right now. There we go. Really digging this. Oh, a sunken. That's exciting. Oops. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Now, let's go ahead and get some Pterodon turquoise on the next leg. I'm liking it. All right. No one caught the sunken. Our dreams are sunken. Ha! Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Digging it. Okay. Let's see. Do I want to paint a samurai now, or do I want to keep painting this dragon? Or do I want to work on the other things that I have to work on? What do you guys think? got dwarfs, samurai, or dragon. Cyber says he's fine with the dragon. Cyber says he loves dragons. Alright, then we will continue with the dragon. Where's the other wing? There it is. Okay. Let's do ourselves a favor and do the other half of this. Before we forget that it exists. Give me a second. I'm gonna Google something. We were Googling what dry paints the Citadel line has. Seeing if there is a rack white that I might try out. Instead of Tyrant Skull. I mean, rack white would be pretty nice. So let me look at this. Paraxi white's too white, so we're just looking up a different color. I can get out to the store tomorrow. Oh, rack white's pretty white. Although that's kind of what we want. We want something a little bit whiter. Okay, yeah, I think I might go out to the store tomorrow. Get some of this. Sorry. We should name the dragon Fred. Yes, this is Fred. He shall be Fred from now on. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna hold off on. I guess we'll do this. I'll use rack white on like this area, maybe on the horn. But that dry brush is done. Get this a little bit wet. We're gonna try and clean this up, brush off a little bit. And it's not happy with how sienna this paint is. I don't know the right word there. I guess sienna is a color. What's going on with my clamp? Oh, that's what's happening. All right, wait. Here we go. I see. Oh, I see. I was wondering what was going on with my camera here. Here we go. There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay. Get our white here. And just like before, get a good handle on the model. And then we're just going to start to add a little bit more detail. Okay. So as we get closer to the face, where we want the attention on the face, we're making these lines just a little bit less definitive to kind of eliminate a little bit of the sharpness and color. All right. But down here, we're good to be as sharp as we want to be. Go there and here. Nope. Paint's starting to dry out just a little bit. I think we're almost done. And just like before, pick some random spots here. Just some random scales to accent here. Some of the bigger ones. Just to kind of break up the noise a little bit. Or no, sorry, to add in a little bit noise. To break up the mono, not monochromatic, but mono stylistic dry brush. Okay. So it's very different on the two sides, but that's okay. One, I guess a tip you could have here would be don't break it up. I mean, like when you look at it straight on, it looks pretty good, but like it's very clearly different on the two sides. But that's totally all right. And yes, I love giving little tips along the way. Honestly, it's just usually mistakes that I've made that are super easy to avoid if you just put a little bit of forethought into it. That's quite all right. All right. This needs Tyrant Skull. So let's Tyrant Skull like this area here. We could do a lighter blue section here on the shoulder maybe. Because that would lead into the wing, right? If it leads into this wing here, I mean, oh, it doesn't. That's actually even better. Because then that could be our Urker. Oh, I see what's gonna go happen here. We're gonna do the little thing. Alright. I see pretty colors in my head, but now it's time to put them on the model. Okay. Where's Pterodon? Okay, we'll do some Pterodon. Asymmetric is dope when clearly done. When it is not clearly done or clearly defined, it is inaccuracy. But like I talked about earlier, look at anything in nature. You have all kinds of inaccuracies. Look at this. Look at the pattern on the snake. It's all over the place, even though when you're looking at it, it's a mono textured surface. Scales. I mean, and look at that. There's all kinds of crazy, scary shit inside a snake's scales. We got to find a good color to do kind of like what we did with this with the extreme highlights. We'll need to find a good color to do that with. Ooh, it'd be really cool to do it in like a bright blue to kind of bring back the blue. We shall see. Okay, so grabbing Pterodon turquoise out of the pot here. And getting it onto these feet, on these little feetsies. Okay. As always, with contrast paints, or anything that's I believe Army Painter has their own. I guess they have their own speed paints now, but they also have those quick shade washes, or anything that is a paint that has a low surface tension that allows you to quickly wash things in order to get shadows and raised areas. Just making sure you're paying attention to how much is going on, making sure it's pooling, making sure that even though you are doing it in a singular thick coat, that you are also doing it in a singular thick coat with thought. The last thing you want is just to throw it all on there and then have it just kind of be on there. You should do like a psycho dragon with insane color schemes. That would actually be a lot of fun. Or let's see here. Can I poke catch this? Nice, I can. Oh yeah, it's Vulpix, man. You gotta get your Vulpix. Let's go ahead. I was debating maybe someday in the future doing a model where every single color is just randomly chosen or chosen by chat. I figured that would be fun. Let's go ahead and get this up to here. Being careful here. All the times we talked about practicing our brush control when it didn't matter enables us to have the brush control in moments like now or it does matter. But at the end of the day, if we do make a mistake, we can fix it. It's not the end of the world. Worse things have happened to better people, and bigger mistakes have been made by better miniature painters than ourselves, and we'll be able to fix it, no problem. Don't you sweat. Okay. Don't want that to extend all the way up to the joint. No. I like that. This, I'm going to do in a different shade of blue. Hey, all three of us caught the Vulpix. That's amazing. Yeah, no, I think just one where it's just whoever, as long as I have more than like one person in chat, just grab a big model and be like, all right, what color are we going to highlight this with? Pink. All right. Ow, why was that there like that? Ow, fuck, that really hurt. Actually, I have a model right here that would be perfect for it. Big old dinosaur. Divide it into like underskin, midtone skin, adjacent to crystals and crystals. And his mouth and his face and his legs. That would be pretty fun. Plus he's just been sitting there chilling doing nothing on my desk for a while. Alright, cool. Alright, so we're going to try using the slightly lighter blue, which is going to be the Talasaur blue. On this area here that will lead into the wings. That is just going to be for this little section here. That will lead us into our wings. Okay. They remind you a lot of the Monster Hunter monsters. Oh yeah, I bet. Actually, I'll get the red dragon out. Here's the red dragon. I'm still in the process of priming him, but yeah. He's very sharp. I will say that about this model. Ow. We're definitely going to be using an airbrush on him though, because this is just too much tiny little details to get our brushes into. And then here is, oh god, he's like 90% wings too. Alright, so I'm still in the process of priming him, so his wings aren't actually primed on the back. But, so like, let's see here. We can get all this on camera. Like so. He's a lot. He's a lot of wing. I will say that. Looks like this is going to go together very nicely as well. Just going to pop a couple magnets in there and call it a day. I like this one a lot too. But yeah, when he's all said and done, all put together, he's gonna be a big one. Yeah, it's gonna be a big model. This. The primer coming off? Oh, because it was dusting. It's dusting. He's huge, is what your girlfriend says to you a lot. Oh, is it because of your large penis? Is that what you're saying, That you have a large male reproductive organ? You're phallically blessed. He is very fucking spiky. This is not going to be a hand-painted guy. I don't believe. We're going to be using the airbrush a lot. And we're also going to have to clean him. Because my primer, I primed him like a dumbass. I put the wings behind the dragon. Ugh. It's fine. We're going to have to just do a nice, good tacky coat. Oh, you you lulled so hard. Oh, at the hashtag phallically blessed. Yeah, that's fair. Gross. All right, let's get some Terradon turquoise into this wing. No, let's get the belly first. Here, we're just going to be very careful as we get in here. As much like my prom date, it's going to be pretty hard to get down in there. That's what we've got. But once I get down in there, it's going to be real pretty. Did I just imply that Kelly Metz had a pretty vagina? I'm sorry, Kelly Metz. I know you will never see this, but I do apologize. And I hope you are still playing ice hockey. Okay. Aww. Poor little Greytoe. Poor little guy needs to get in there, or he's gonna starve to death. Well, hold up. I'm kind of fucking digging that. Glazing over the, but it might not look like that when we're done, actually. So never mind, wait. We'll have to see what that looks like at the end. Let's go ahead and get his belly over here. Get this arm up through there. Right, yeah. Get this down in here, up into this area. Those spikes are going to be a different color. Should I figure out a way to add lightning to this? I think I might, because it is a blue dragon in D&D after all. I might figure out a way to add lightning to it. Maybe melt some acrylic rods or 3D print some lightning effects. That might be pretty cool. Pretty dope, as the kids would say. Ah, fuck, that's supposed to be their color blue. It's fine. Wait, right? Ah, wait. No, we're good. This goes to here. Oh, Letelio. Control V. Do I have any Pokeballs left? No, that's still Rock White. Oops. Nice, I do still have Pokeballs left. Nice. And yes, Shadow is playing Jurassic Park. The funny part is the number of streams that we've spent painting this blue dragon. We're up to about, I think, 10 hours of work on him, maybe a little bit more. In about 10 hours, that red dragon's going to be basically done on the way that I'm going to paint him with the airbrush, oil paints, etc. But given the techniques that we're going to be using, it'll probably take just as many streams. No, it's going to take way less. I'm lying to myself. But I wanted to do this one entirely by hand because it was the first gargantuan dragon of the stream, of the channel. I don't know, something just felt right about doing this guy by hand. Plus, blue dragons have always been one of my favorites. Blues and silvers. Definitely a couple of my favorite colors. I mean, pretty much any of the metallic dragons, though, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, would probably take a good spot in my top X. Get out of there, cat hair. Looking good. Get this area here. Yeah, looking good. Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna paint it bone white, and then we'll add some blood effects to it. Like it did just stab something through the chest. Example given, one of the orcs that we did for Orktober. We made it look like he just killed something and he got beat up in battle. Something like that. We'll do that on his toenails. Right? Come on, camera, work with me here. Yeah, like that. Go away. Box of shit. Okay. Let's go ahead and damn it. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing the arcing lightning thing. That would actually be pretty sick. Just thinking about the best way to do it. I might just bend some wire and then put some liquid latex on it. But I don't know if that's gonna be angular enough. I guess it depends on how you bend the wire, Ricky, huh? No. We'll figure something out. Do a couple more of these, actually. Just in case we don't do these the way I think that I am. Actually, no, we're just going to paint these entirely. I think that's where we'll add the arcing lightning. I'm pretty much dead set on adding lightning to it. It's just a matter of I'm going to buy the file that they provide or make my own or buy a different lightning. Because I think lightning is really cool. Especially for a blue dragon that, you know, shoots fucking lightning out of its nose. You're gonna watch Gara to die from starvation. Your poor dinosaur. Oh no. He's finally fighting. Finally. Okay. There we go. Get him on space. If you guys could look, see if I'm there. Shkapow! In all his majesty. Where the flying fuck are my paint markers? Where'd you guys hide them? Did you hide them over here? No? You guys are sneaky. Cyber and Shadow hiding my shit. Alright, guys. Let's see. Let's put this here. Do I not have any markers? Whoa, wait. Okay, okay. It was a joke, and now I'm actually. When the bit turns real. All right. I didn't want to be able to find my stuff today anyway. That's fine. Just gonna sniff the Sharpie till things work out. It smells pretty good. Was it Fred? And there you go, Cyber. We have Fred. Alrighty. There's a base too. This was solid blue when we started, and now it is this color. This was a lot of fun to paint. Think it's pretty close to done. I might add something to it. Not sure. Can you guys even see the skulls anymore? Not really. I think that's what it's missing. All the skulls kind of got covered up a little bit. I'll fix that. Maybe. I think I should be able to. Yeah, fuck it. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. About 3 hours. I wanted to paint for longer tonight, but I should get to sleep. Get a little bit of sleep tonight. I might be hopping on tomorrow night. We shall see. I got a little bit of other stuff to work on tonight before I go to bed anyway. Highlight the skulls with a bit of black. That would actually probably be a good idea. Get some ink in there, or do like a I really want to get into oh shit, what the hell? Where did that brush even go? Okay, that's fine. Whatever. There's a paintbrush beneath my feet somewhere. Let me see here. I'll look it up. I really want to get into doing something like this. When it comes to highlighting things in black, like this, painting some stuff stylistically like this, or this one guy does a whole series on comic style painting. Let's see here. It's called cell shading. I've looked at it a bunch before. Let's see if I can find a good example. Cell shading, yeah. Ah, da 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 da. Ooh, cell shaded Tau. I do have a bunch of unpainted Tau miniatures, but kind of painting things almost in that Borderland style. You guys can't see that at all. Here's one. But yeah, I want to get into trying something like that. Or where's the Hulk? There's a really good Hulk here, actually. Cell shaded Hulk images. Oh wow, that's gonna bring up a bunch of stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what I'm talking about. First time chat from viewer. Want to become famous? No, I'm good. I wanted to be famous, but I don't really have time to give you my money. Just ban you. Let's see here, users in chat. I got a lot of users in chat. I want to say hi to you guys. Thank you for joining. Astro, Katie, Pie Master, Ice Wizards, Academy Impossible. You guys are all great. I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. You would like to become famous? Well, you live in Switzerland. You can try naked skiing or something, right? Or where do you live now, Cyber? I mean, there's different kinds of famous, I guess. we go. Go ahead and put our brushes away here. Because the stuff I'm going to work on now is actually the 3D printing stuff. So it's actually on the other side of the room. Gotta take it off the printer, clean the model, remove the supports, get it cured for 20 or 30 minutes, clean it up. And that'll take about an hour or so, all things said and done. Living in Switzerland is draining your money. I mean, move. Apparently it's super easy to do in Europe, so I'm not jealous. I'm not upset. I wish it was super easy for me to move. Oh. Alright. I'm stalling because I hate messing with my 3D printer because it's gross. There's a good look at my crotch for all you guys. You sick perverts. I am going to find that paintbrush, though, that fell. That's not it. That's a different paintbrush that fell. Oh, I found it, guys. Oh, my God. Ah! Spider webs. Anyway, thank you all very much. I hope that everything that you make, you put the best parts of yourself into. I know that I sure did tonight. And as always, don't forget that if you do that, no matter what you make, it is going to be amazing. It's always going to be good enough. Anyway, that's it. We're going to see if there's anyone to raid. There probably won't be. But if there is, actually, yeah, we do have someone to raid. We have Little Bird. Let's go raid Little Bird. Let's send the videos. Thank you very much. It's actually, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try and last Pokemon of the night. Perfect timing. You don't own that ball, Cyber? Get some balls, man. Get some balls. Actually, let me check this out before we go. Pokedex. Where we at? Alright, alright. Not a lot of progress this week, but that's okay. Alright. Thank you, guys. Bye. Well, I gotta raid first. Let's go over to Little Bird. I mean, I don't even know if she wants my 3 viewers, but we'll see what happens. If we get at least 3 people, we'll go. Look at that, we got 3 people. Let's go.